Hoy en Carolina Ahora la recuperación después de la tormenta Helene continúa, lo último en esfuerzos de ayuda.
Un cambio de poder, México elige a su primera mujer presidenta, sus metas y promesas.
Y en Elevando Voces hablamos con el ex Morehead Kane Scholar que ahora trabaja para el programa. Lo que ella quiere los estudiantes latinos sepan sobre la importancia de ayudar a los demás. Bienvenidos a Carolina Ahora, Noticias en Spanglish. Soy Chrisanne Bennett.
Y soy María Fernanda Barriga Mateos. Empezamos hoy con la tormenta Helene. Ha pasado más de una semana desde que Helene destruyó partes del oeste de Carolina del Norte y la recuperación continúa. El Departamento de Transporte anunció que enviará $100 millones en fondos de emergencia para reparar carreteras y puentes. FEMA ha dicho que algunas personas tienen miedo de solicitar ayuda debido a rumores que no son ciertos. FEMA dice que familias deben de solicitar ayuda sin miedo para obtener ayuda con medicinas, alimentos y ayudar con reparaciones y pérdidas. Many in Chapel Hill are wondering how they can help. Back Alley Bikes and the Orange County Social Club are accepting donations. The No Woman, No Child initiative is also accepting donations through their Amazon wish list.
Desafortunadamente, hay otra tormenta que está amenazando a los residentes de Florida, el huracán Milton. La tormenta ahora categoría 5 se espera que toque tierra mañana cerca de Tampa. Los oficiales urgen que los residentes se preparen para la tormenta. También se espera que Milton tenga un impacto en México con vientos altos y inundaciones en la península Yucatán. To apply for federal assistance, visit disasterassistance.gov, get the FEMA app, or call the number on screen between 7 and 11 p.m. to apply. Make sure to have your social security number, current address, and where you were during the hurricane, as well as a list of damages and your banking and insurance information.
After a 3-day strike, dock workers across the East and Gulf Coast are back at work after a deal was reached. This was a relief to many who worried that the strike could raise prices and create shortages in stores. The strike ended Friday morning as their main demand was met, increased pay. The deal includes a 10% raise. Automation protection, another demand, however, was not in the deal.
Un momento histórico en México. Han elegido a su primera presidencia Claudia Sheinbaum. Ella también es la primera presidenta de ascendencia judía. La científica ambiental y ex alcaldesa de Ciudad de México ganó el apoyo de los votantes al alinearse con su mentor, el presidente saliente Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Sheinbaum ha prometido mejorar la seguridad, eliminar el feminicidio y reforzar las iniciativas ambientales. Ella también incluyó luchar contra las barreras sociales.
Condenamos el clasismo, el racismo, el machismo y cualquier forma de discriminación.
Pero aunque hay roto una importante barrera de género, el país espera ver cómo enfrentará los problemas urgentes como la devaluación de la moneda, la creciente déficit presupuestario y la violencia de las pandillas.
Estamos a menos de un mes del día de las elecciones. Según el Centro de Investigación Pew, alrededor de 36 millones de latinos son elegibles para votar en las elecciones de este año. Ambos candidatos presidenciales esperan obtener el voto de la comunidad latina. El expresidente Trump y la vicepresidenta Harris participarán en el Town Hall en Univision esta semana para hablar sobre temas importantes para la comunidad Latinx. El periodista Enrique Acevedo moderará. Este es diferente al debate nacional ya que los candidatos estarán separados para los dos Town Halls. El especial titulado Los Latinos Preguntan tendrá Donald Trump esta noche a las 10 p.m. en Univision. Los Latinos Preguntan, Kamala Harris responde, se transmitirá el jueves a las 10 p.m.
Las personas que alquilan sus hogares podrían ser el factor decisivo en los estados péndulo. La asequibilidad de la vivienda es un tema clave ya que los costos han aumentado durante la última década. Más de 45 millones de americanos alquilan sus hogares o arrepentimientos. Sin embargo, son menos propensos a votar que propietarios. El Centro de Acción Democrática Popular quiere cambiar eso. Lanzarán una campaña de la semana pasada que se dirige a los votantes latinos y negros en estados péndulo, como Carolina del Norte. Investigaciones muestran que los latinos y afroamericanos son más propensos a ser inquilinos y de bajos ingresos. La organización espera llevar a las personas a votar y ver cambios en la política de vivienda.
El último día para registrar a votar en Carolina del Norte es este viernes. Si tienes una licencia de conducir o una identificación gubernamental, regístrate a través del sitio web del DMV. Si no puedes completar una aplicación a través del website de ncsb.gov, puedes ir al supervisor de elecciones de tu county. Si estás en campus, hay personas afuera de la biblioteca Wilson o Curtis Media Center registrando a gente a votar. Envía la solicitud por correo o entregarla en personal al County Supervisor of Elections. Para más información sobre el registro, visita ncsb.gov/registering. In studio, we have representatives from Helping Heals, a program that has teamed up with rural North Carolina schools to provide mental health counselors in training. Chris Ann, tell us more.
Gracias, Maria. I'm here with Elena Herrera Lobo y Jocelyn Martinez Figueroa. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
My first question is, how is Helping Heals helping rural schools in North Carolina?
First of all, Helping Heals is a grant by the federal government, granted by the Biden-Harris administration to address violence and bullying in public schools. This grant we obtained through my colleague, Dr. Dana Griffin. She applied for the grant and brought it to the School of Education. And what the grant does, it pays for the tuition and some other financial awards for the students of school counseling in the School of Education, for the Master in School Counseling. So what we're trying to do is partner with rural school districts in North Carolina to place highly qualified and trained professionals in mental health that know how to support our students in rural schools that lack access to resources.
That's amazing, especially when we're in such a mental health crisis right now. Jocelyn, I know that the students in these rural schools are benefiting, but how can UNC students benefit?
So we have the privilege to work with a diverse group of students, so it gives us a little bit more experience than what we may typically find in other school districts.
Sounds great. And I know our audience is dying to know, how can they get involved? Can you tell them a little bit about how they can get involved with Helping Heals?
Well, what we would like is to have more students being school counselors that represent the students in the communities that they serve. So what we want is to attract those students, to train them and give them the tools and the resources that they need to be successful in those communities, to be able to serve those communities effectively. You don't see a lot of school counselors, especially at the high school, that look like Jocelyn. And we want to bring those faces that represent the students to the schools so that they can feel seen and appreciated and welcomed in their school communities.
Diversidad es esencial. Gracias. Thank you for joining us this morning. Maria, back to you.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Chris Ann. Escuchamos a Emma Kane, lo último en Deportes de Carolina.
Thank you, Maria. Unfortunately, Anna Lively is unable to be here today, so I'm filling in to keep you updated on all things Carolina athletics. This past Saturday, the Football Heels welcomed the Pittsburgh Panthers, fans, and UNC alum into Kenan Stadium for their homecoming game. UNC, coming off of 2 losses, was taking on the undefeated Pitt, who scored early to start the game, settling for a field goal after moving down into the 10-yard line after kickoff. The Heels responded with a quick pick 6 by Caleb Kost, who ran 84 yards and gave the Heels their first touchdown. Going into halftime, the Panthers and the Heels were tied 17-all. Seeing how the second half went against Duke, it was important for the Heels to keep communication strong and force mistakes against Pitt. After the third quarter, it was still a tied game and still hope for the Tar Heels to break a possible losing streak. The Panthers opened up scoring in the fourth quarter, taking the lead. The Heels on a later drive didn't settle for three and went for it on fourth and turned the ball over on downs. The Panthers were able to tick off over 7 minutes on the clock for an 18-play drive down the field. The Tar Heels ran out of time and remained scoreless in the fourth quarter, Pitt taking the win 34-24. Looking forward to this week, men's soccer, who's coming off their first loss, is taking on College of Charleston today. Today's match against College of Charleston is a Community Heroes Night, and the Heels are inviting friends and family into Dorrance Field to cheer on both the team and the local heroes working to make a difference. This is the first time these two teams have met since 2015, with an all-time record of 6-3-1 against the Cougars. A star player we are all watching is none other than Martin Viscian, who has scored 7 goals in 10 games for the Heels this season. Later this week, the Heels will travel and take on Notre Dame. In this game, it will be key that UNC shuts down Matthew Rue as he leads the country in goals. Soccer isn't the only team who is traveling this week. Volleyball will be taking on both NC State and Wake Forest this week. The volleyball team is on an all-time high after sweeping their series against Duke. Volleyball has a 92-33 all-time record against NC State and 38-18 while away. The team will be relying on consistently dominating players like senior Maybury Schaffmaster to keep up those kills in hopes to walk away with 2 more wins after this week. Back to you, Chris Ann.
Gracias, Emma. Escuchemos de Dalia lo último sobre el mes de Patrimonio Latinx.
Power within. That's the message from this year's keynote speaker for the Latinx Heritage Month. No? Prisca Dorcas Mojica Rodriguez is the founder of the Latina Rebels and the author of 4 Brown Girls with Sharp Edges and Tender Hearts. Mojica Rodriguez spoke to students and faculty at Kerr Hall Monday night to celebrate Latinx Heritage Month. This year's theme was Llama de Arugue.
You can't teach oppressed communities top down. You have to teach them knowing that they have everything they need within them. It's just about activating it.
Latinx Heritage Month ends next week. However, the party isn't over just yet. Mi Pueblo plans to hold a carnival on Friday. The event will have food, music, live performances, and a mechanical bull, and more. Stop by the pit this Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. for the festivities.
Hoy en Elevando Voces tenemos a Melly Godínez Cedillo, una alumna que se graduó de UNC Chapel Hill en el 2022, siendo una mujer Ken erudita. Ahora trabaja para la fundación. Nos cuenta que decidió trabajar con la fundación porque su experiencia con su programa tuvo un gran impacto en su vida y fue una experiencia que le ayudó a pensar en el impacto que ella puede tener en su comunidad y la importancia de ayudar a los demás.
I've always been really interested in education. It was something I became really interested in throughout my experience here at UNC, and I realized just how transformational the college experience can be, and I want to better understand how I can help make sure that all students have access to really transformational experiences, regardless of really their background or where they come from.
Gracias por ver Carolina Ahora. Asegúrate de seguir nuestra Instagram en Carolina Ahora UNC. Sintoniza el próximo martes para ver otro programa.